seersucker suit on a hot summer day. Coffee comes back in a nerve-wracking way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day, what a day, what a day.
Well, welcome to Capital Region today. I'm so glad that you're joining us today. Oh my God, I can't believe that September is almost over, and actually the 21st, isn't that when fall starts? I think that's where we're at right now. So anyway, here we are. And we have some great guests today. Oh my goodness, I don't know how I've been so blessed to have such great guests. We have two authors on the show today. We're going to be talking about food, and we're going to be talking about the bomb. Oh well. Let's think about that for a minute. And then we're going to be talking about a theater group. Of course, Harbinger Theater will be on talking about their production, as well as the Civic players are going to be on talking about their murder mystery dinner theater. And then the most creative women are here today, and they're going to be talking about quilts. And we're going to be seeing some of those quilts at least one of those quilts anyway. And I believe they will be raffling one of those off. So we've got a great lineup to start out with. My first guest, and my goodness, she's so dear to my heart because I love her food. Actually, she's written a book called Easy Moroccan Cookbook. I don't know how easy it is because the food is fabulous. And we have Anessa Waheed with us, and she's the owner of Terra Kitchen. And the amazing thing is that she's now in Wildwood, New Jersey. Where are you going, lady?
Why not Wildwood, New Jersey?
Why not? Yes. So what an amazing journey you've had.
Yes, it's been incredible. Yep.
I remember when you first opened up your first one, and then you're in Guilderland, and you're in,
Troy,
yeah.
We're just celebrating 10 years in Schenectady, so it's definitely been a wild, fun-filled ride.
But what a vision you have.
It's not necessarily that I have a vision, so to speak, but it's sort of making things work and grow organically in a way that works for us, the business, and the family.
Because you have children.
I have two very small children.
And I remember being in Terra when you first opened up, and the kids were right there, and they were so,
I have a 10 and an 11-year-old, so they're pretty much born into the business, and, we were raising a family and starting the business at the same time. So we had some challenging times, but we're at a place now where we can, they're a little bit older, and we're able to grow a little bit faster than.
Are you teaching them to cook?
Yeah, they're excellent. Excellent. I never have to worry about dinner at home.
See, I was lucky because my mother taught me at her knee, quote to speak.
Yeah.
And I learned to cook when I was like 4 and 5 years old. I was learning to do everything that needed to be done in the kitchen.
Yeah, absolutely. They were in the restaurant with me from day one.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the little one was born there, right? So they don't know anything else. We're an extreme foodie family. We love to eat, we love to cook, we love to try food. They were a huge part of me writing the cookbook, testing the recipes with me, and telling me what recipes should be in the book, that kind of stuff. So they're very involved, and I try to get them to be as hands-on as I possibly can, allowing
Fooding is an experience. It's not opening up a box that came delivered to your door.
Absolutely. Yeah, and they enjoy it.
Yeah.
They also enjoy it, so it's a good activity for us to have.
What would we expect? Now, I've been to her restaurant, and I love her food. I'm just gonna have to make that statement. I do love it. What makes Moroccan food different than any other food?
I think it's all the influences that Morocco has had from all over the world.
Because they're on the tip of Africa there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's from Spain, right? From Spain you can come there.
It's a gateway to Europe from the south, and it's a gateway for the Europeans to Africa and to Asia.
Yeah.
And for thousands of years, there's been a lot of cross-cultural stuff happening in that particular spot. The Moroccan government, it's a kingdom, the Moroccan kings have always been very amiable to people coming in, and, very hospitable people, the communities. So, there's been a lot of Italian influence, there's been a lot of Spanish, a lot of French, a lot of Greek, and then there's a lot of influence coming out from the South and Asia. So I find it to be, one of the greatest melting pot of cuisines, so to speak.
It is, and you use foods like I grew up with pomegranates. I used to beg my mother for a pomegranate. If you can imagine that, kids are asking for Hostess Twinkies. I was begging for figs and also pomegranates. Mom, can I please have a pomegranate?
That's awesome. It's a great fruit. Yes.
Yeah, and you use those in your cooking as well.
Yeah. So, Moroccan food has a lot of ingredients that are very comforting to us, and we know these ingredients, so it's easy to recognize them in the food, but then when you pair them with, a certain style or a certain way, it takes on a whole new meaning, right? And I think that's why there's a comfort to Moroccan food that we can immediately gravitate towards that we might not have with some other cuisine, purely from the ingredient standpoint. So I cook a lot with dried fruits. I cook a lot with spices that are familiar to us, like cumin and thyme and oregano and cinnamon and cloves.
You kind of can morph those flavors, cardamom even, some of it, it's in there.
Cooking with the sweets and the honey, and there's a lot of fresh ingredients in Moroccan food.
Well, and the one thing that I do notice, and I'm not a vegetarian.
Yeah.
I could be easily because I eat very little meat, but the point is that many of your dishes are vegetarian as well.
Yeah, and that is
and you label them. You say you're gluten-free, you label everything.
We do. That was a conscious decision here in America because, honestly, Moroccan food inherently is not vegetarian. So if you're traveling in Morocco, you're going to have a hard time.
Oh, they usually have meat in it? Oh, see, I always think of it as being vegetarian.
That's, a lot of the food in Morocco usually has some
lamb or
meat component in it. Or
chicken.
It might be chicken or lamb or fish or some sort of dried meat or something, They don't necessarily understand, not that they don't understand, but they don't necessarily eat food that's just vegetarian.
Okay.
So you might get lots
that's
of
sort of
salads.
American, isn't it?
Well, they eat a lot of salads at the beginning of their meal,
yeah.
so they might have like a fresh cut carrot salad and a beet salad, but they're small plates. It's not necessarily an entree. But obviously here, we're catering to a market that has lots of different requirements. And one thing that I found in Moroccan food that it does inherently really well is it's very allergy friendly. So the food, the cuisine inherently is free of dairy and nuts and sesame and soy and cilantro.
So there you go.
So I found that out very early on in my cooking career that, because I was originally born in India. So
I was just going to say, you're not Moroccan.
I am not. I'm an interloper in this culture.
Okay, she's interloper. Okay.
So, I was doing a lot of Indian food because that comes naturally to me, but then when I started also introducing Moroccan food to the customers, what the feedback we got was, okay, we love this because it's so allergy friendly. My kid can eat it, my mom can eat it, my husband can eat it, and it's one meal that I can buy for the family. So that's how I eventually gravitated more towards just focusing on this cuisine, aside from the fact that we love it. So, I think we understand that as an ethnic restaurant, and then, you put a country behind it, Morocco, and you're expecting that many different people come and try this food, so you have to cater to them.
Yeah, exactly.
So we do really well with the vegetarian stuff and vegan stuff because...
Yeah, I noticed on your menu, because I wasn't really conscious of that, and I saw the little letters down there, and I said, now what are these? And then it dawned on me, at the end, it shows what all of those letters mean, so that...
And I don't have to work hard at it. It just comes naturally because the cuisine is designed in that manner.
Does your husband help you cook?
Yeah, he does. We're sort of like, we're a good balance. He does a lot of the ops of the business. He's, very involved in the back-end process of everything we do, and I'm sort of the more creative, he's the execution, and I'm sort of the planner. So I can create a plan, and I can, do all that stuff and be the creative part, and then he can go out and roll it. But, we've been fortunate enough now, 10 years, to have amazing talent in the company, which is the only reason we can grow.
Yeah, well, the other thing I want to mention is that you've been creative in the sense that you have a number of products that are even in, like, Price Chopper, a number of the stores.
Yeah. Well, the sauces came...
And they're delicious, by the way. I love the little kick in them.
The sauces came as a answer to people in the restaurant who were asking me for a sauce, because if you go to any grocery store, you can't necessarily see a Moroccan cooking sauce.
Yeah.
You might see a marinara, you might see an Indian chicken tikka salad, but you don't necessarily see this. So it came from customer feedback when people are eating food at the restaurant and they say, how can I do this at home? What's the easy way? And, anytime you want to make a mother sauce, it usually takes a lot of work and effort.
Oh, yeah, it takes a while to make it. It's got to simmer. It's got to,
So that's where this came from was, okay, if people want it and we can do it in a way that is good, then why not? And then we were very lucky. The Niskuna Food Co-op was my first vendor. They said we would carry the product. It's the local community, the local shops, all the people who have helped build.
You got to get in the India store. Have you been in the India market? I mean, you got to get over there and get your foods in there, because that's something else. I'll tell you, really. Yeah. You also are working on a spa.
Yeah, we're working on a Moroccan hammam, which has definitely been a labor of love, and it's been now 5-6 years in the making. But we're making a slow progress. Hammams have been part of Moroccan culture for hundreds of years, and interestingly enough, the concept of a hammam came to Morocco via the Romans. They're old bathhouses.
Oh, yeah.
That the Moroccans then adapted into a way of use.
And they had a way of keeping them warm. I mean, it was. I was in England.
Yeah.
In Bath, England, and I said, "What is this?" They said, "Well, the Romans came and built this in England."
Yeah, they literally started this trend all over the world.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is bring this, this cultural experience to our area, not just because it's a unique and different thing, but it's actually a very healthy thing for the body, and it's a unique experience that I think nobody else offers.
Well, all you got to do is make it happen. Huh?
That's just
That's
minor details.
That's a minor detail. But she was in the paper. She's getting quite a bit of coverage, and I'm going to ask you real quickly.
Yeah.
Didn't you compete with Bobby Flay? What happened?
A long time ago. You have to watch the show.
You have to watch the show. There you go. You won't know unless you watch. You got Guy.
I'm always self-promoting. Watch the show.
Yeah, and also Guy Farron.
Yeah, I did Guys, and I was able to do another show during COVID, which was very interesting.
The market one?
No, it was called Kitchen Crashers.
Yeah.
And we had to do it out in the open, on the streets, because you couldn't be in a building.
Yeah.
And the only reason I did it was because I really wanted to see how they were going to film it, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
We've been very fortunate.
So she's on the probably Food Network. Next thing you're going to see her is, I don't know where you're going to be next. She's always popping up somewhere, and I'm just so happy to be able to bring her on the show. And if you haven't been to Terra Kitchen, I recommend, well, you can always get the cookbook and try some of the dishes, but you've got to experience the food. The food is really wonderful. I guess I could just say it's fresh.
Yeah, it's very Mediterranean style. We cook to order. I think we get a lot of love, but one of the biggest complaints we probably get is we're a little bit slow, right? But that's because we're cooking everything
fresh.
Order, everything's fresh, and you can experience that, and you can really feel it when you're eating.
No, and it comes, and the food's hot, and it's good. Yeah, there's no question.
Individual tagines, and there's a whole experience part of it, and I think food has to be enjoyed, right? And especially if you're going out. It's a different thing if you're home.
Well, I have to say this. So, the food did not come immediately. I mean, we ordered.
Yeah.
But it made for a nice experience because the people I were with, we sat and chatted.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it became an event rather than just getting a meal. And I appreciate that. I really do. And the tea was wonderful, by the way. I don't know what you do with your tea, but it's really good. They bring you tea right away, and it's so good. I think it's like a chai or something.
It's a Moroccan mint tea.
It's like really good.
Tea with mint and honey.
It's good. So be sure to get the tea. Well, they'll bring it to you anyway. So anyway, but there's her cookbook. You can always get her cookbook, and I recommend the sauces. This is just one of those things. I love sauces and.
Easy to cook.
Yeah, easy to cook. So thanks so much, Denise. It's so good to see you. And good luck with all your new projects. Oh, my goodness. So she's an author. We're going to go to another author. And this gentleman, Lawrence Wittner, is a emeritus professor. SUNY?
Yes.
What did you teach? I mean, I know history, but what?
I taught history of U.S. foreign policy,
foreign policy.
Yes. I
So
taught-
your book just works right in, right?
Oh, yeah, and I taught international history,
Okay.
as well as recent American history.
Okay. So when you taught there, you somehow got the idea of writing a trilogy.
Yes.
So tell me about your trilogy.
Well, it's called The Struggle Against the Bomb. It actually took off from the fact that during the 1980s in the United States and around the world, there was a massive popular upsurge of protest against
Right.
the nuclear arms race and against the danger of nuclear war. The result was that, as I could see, the arms race seemed to be curbed, and in fact, we had some very significant arms control and disarmament treaties. So I wanted to study the interaction of this upsurge of popular protest and the treaties we got.
And how did the governments respond to these protests?
Oh, well, they
weren't
didn't
too
like
hap-
them.
They didn't like them, huh?
At
I
first.
kind of thought that maybe that might have been the situation.
Right. Ever since 1945 and the
Hiroshima,
explosion of
yeah.
the atomic bomb, it was clear that the world was on the precipice of nuclear destruction.
There's no winner.
Right,
There's
right.
no winner.
Yeah. However, what nation states had done, what governments had done over the centuries, was simply to arm, to protect themselves, at times to wage aggressive war.
You got 2 bombs, I want 3.
Right, right. The result was then that this popular sense that the world had to be saved from the nuclear arms race and
No
nuclear
winners.
war clashed with the assumptions of policymakers, government officials, that their nations had to have nuclear weapons and, if necessary, defeat the foe using them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that struggle took off in 1945. There were waves of protest. And then in the 1980s, there was the latest wave of protest. And this finally forced nation states back from the brink of nuclear war. We were very close to it up to that time.
Well, the Cuban Missile thing, I mean, there was,
absolutely,
I mean, it was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
the thing is that there, I don't need to tell you, but there's no winners to this because radiation isn't selective.
Right, right. And in fact, beyond radiation, there's the blast and the fire.
Oh, the fire, yeah.
That sweep across cities.
Well, the
and
nuclear, what do they
continents.
call it, the nuclear, that there's no sunlight gets through either.
Yes.
It gets,
Yes, right, right. The vast clouds of radioactive fallout from the explosions
Mm-hmm.
of the bombs will lead to the sun being eclipsed
Exactly.
by these particles of dust. And this will destroy agriculture
Exactly.
around
So, I
the
mean,
world,
it's-
leading to mass starvation. So whoever survives the first wave of nuclear destruction will die slowly, either from radiation poisoning
Or starvation.
or from this so-called nuclear winter.
so you think that maybe these bomb shelters were, I mean, it seems to me like that was, okay, a bomb shelter, so you're protected for a couple of hours, but
Right,
but then what?
right. Well, actually, during the 1950s, there
Oh,
was
everybody was
a-
building bomb shelters.
Right, there was a fallout shelter craze, a bomb shelter craze, encouraged to some degree by the federal government here and in other countries
Yeah.
too. Some people actually built them.
Yeah.
The government built them.
And you have to have 2 years' food in there and this, and then,
Well,
which
supposedly.
was a whole new
Yeah,
industry
right,
of people
right.
making food
Right.
in advance.
Right.
But I had to laugh if you watch TCM, which is the movies, they'll often play some of these little films that they made, and it shows the kids doing this, and I'm thinking,
I did that.
and I'm going, really? This is going to protect you?
Right, right. I did that during grade school. We had take cover drills.
Yeah, I know. It's like
Yeah.
you really think you're gonna, and then they have one. Well, go against a building. It's like what?
Yeah, right.
This is a nuclear bomb.
Right, right. Or thousands of them falling. It
Yeah.
wasn't just one. So,
I know. I shouldn't laugh, but at the
Yeah.
time they were trying to give you some sense of protection, which was
right, Right. The federal government worried, though. Eisenhower, for example, I found out doing research for this trilogy and for the abbreviated version, Confronting the Bomb, I found out Eisenhower was worried that too much focus on fallout shelters might worry the population.
You think?
But, of course, the population was already worried
Yeah, I
at
know.
that point.
That wasn't going to add a whole lot.
Yeah, during grade school, we learned, we were told by our teachers that we must take cover.
Get under your desk.
When she would say so. And so we, we'd be doing our math problems there in school, and the teacher would say quietly, drilling us, getting us set, she would say, take cover. And we're all supposed to notice that and then hop under our desks. Well, I was a big kid at that time. I was
You didn't fit under that desk.
taller, so, and I didn't fit well. So I always bumped against the top of the desk or against the metal supports for it, and so on.
Well,
and I was told in school to wear a metal dog tag. These were distributed in New York City.
Really?
Yes.
I did
by
not
the
know
Board of
that.
Education.
So that would have burnt right through your skin if it was.
Well, that might have survived, but our bodies wouldn't have.
Exactly.
And we asked.
I shouldn't be laughing, but it's-
teachers,
yeah.
Why do we have to wear this? She told us to wear this all the time.
Yeah.
In the shower, any place. And she said, well, that will help your parents identify your body or what's left of it after the nuclear war.
You know, you're bringing up Uvalde.
Yeah.
What happened there? I mean,
Yeah.
is it any different that now we've got kids worried about a shooter,
Right.
you know, and identifying yourselves. I mean, it's like, what is happening to our world that we can't seem to get over annihilating each other?
Right,
You know.
right. Well, the good news is that thanks to these waves of protest, we did get nuclear arms control and disarmament treaties. We did cut back on the number of nuclear weapons in the world from some 70,000 to only 13,000 today. About 92% or
That could only wipe out the world 3 times over, right?
Right, exactly. Most of those owned by the United States and Russia.
Mm-hmm.
But in the last 10 or 15 years, we've had a reversion to the nuclear arms race. And now all the nuclear powers, all 9 nuclear powers, are
Including
building up-
Iran, yeah.
Yes. Well, they don't
Well,
have
they
nuclear
have
weapons
enrichment.
yet.
They're doing the
Right,
enrichment
Right,
now.
right. But there are 9 nuclear powers that have nuclear weapons, and they are building up new stocks, more dangerous kinds, supersonic missiles that can carry them.
They can carry anywhere
Right,
around
right,
the world.
Right.
May end up in their own backyard
Right.
for all they know.
Right. And many of the nuclear arms control and disarmament treaties have been cast off by Donald Trump, by Vladimir Putin, and by
Yeah,
other
they don't want
leaders
that,
of the
yeah.
nuclear powers who don't want to disarm.
Yeah.
So, in the end, something has to be done to restrain this arms race and to push nations back from nuclear war.
Do you see any danger, and we're almost out of time, but do you see any danger with nuclear power plants?
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
when you look at what Putin was doing in Ukraine, aiming at that, it's like, are you a madman? Do you not know that if you hit that and the nuclear, you get radiation, it's going to drift over, and I'm pretty sure it might just go into Russia.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And
What are you
around the
thinking?
world. Right, right. Well, unfortunately, governments haven't broken the habit of arming themselves for wars and fighting wars.
Yeah.
And therefore, things that get in their way, like destroying this largest nuclear power plant in Europe,
It's
that's
just-
a small consideration.
little thing that we
Right,
need to
right.
do, yeah.
They'd rather not, but nonetheless, they want to win their wars. And therefore, it's up to the people of the world to tell governments
something.
that they can't do that sort of thing, that they should sign the Treaty on the Prohibition of
yeah.
Nuclear Weapons.
I agree.
Which went into force in 2021. None of the nuclear powers have signed it, but many non-nuclear powers have
Of course they
signed
have.
it.
They're the ones that are going to be hit.
Right,
So
right.
how close are we to nuclear fission?
Well, to nuclear war?
No, fission, using nuclear fission for power plants.
Oh, well, It is used.
Fission, are we?
I believe so, yes.
Oh,
It's
I thought we were using
controlled nuclear-
fusion. We're using fusion, but not
Well,
fission.
You may be right.
Yeah, I think fission is where you don't get the radiation.
Yeah. But each power plant is a potential bomb.
Yeah.
And furthermore.
Chernobyl, look what happened in Chernobyl.
Right.
And that was in their own
radiated
backyard.
All of Europe and so on.
Yeah.
So the nuclear arms race must be ended. And furthermore, the world needs greater governance. The United Nations needs to be strengthened.
It needs to be strengthened up a little bit.
And the nation states roll back from their traditions.
Where can I
of
get your
waging
books?
War. Well, any place. Go online, Amazon.com
Okay.
or Stanford University Press.
Okay.
And sells them, but it's all over
Get
the
a
web.
book, find out a little bit more about what's going on in the world and why it's important for disarmament. I mean, I'm on your page.
Okay,
Good.
thank you.
Thanks for being here. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and I'd love to talk to you a lot more.
Okay, thanks
Good.
again.
Next time.
Bye now.
Good. We're going to switch right over to our next guest because we're going to be talking about, well, hello, Patrick White. How are you? That's the director over there. And with you, you brought two of your,
I did.
yes.
Uh,
Are they
Tom-
your students or what?
No, well, Megan's been my student. Tom.
Okay.
is,
Hi, Megan Ryan.
Megan Ryan,
Yes, and we have Tom.
And Tom Mooney.
Yeah.
who are in the new production of Andy and the Orphans.
That's a
presented
really,
by-
I looked at the plot on that. It looks really interesting.
Yes, it's two estranged siblings.
Are you the estranged siblings?
No, they're not.
Oh, they're not?
They
Okay.
lose their 85-year-old father, and they have to gather back on Long Island and take care of his remains and figure out how to tell Andy, their adult brother.
He's autistic, is it?
He has Down syndrome.
Down syndrome, okay.
And has lived in a state institution his entire life.
And he still thinks his family is still alive, right? I mean, because he doesn't know there's a death yet, does he? Or does he?
He does.
Oh, he does,
It turns out.
Okay.
Yes. But it's dealing with all the aftermath and the new, after your parents die, the new family and how you relate to each other.
Makes a big difference when someone that has been in a caregiver, maybe not physically a caregiver, but a caregiver in general, taking, paying the bills and doing all the things for a son, who does that afterwards?
Right. Well, the state.
Oh, it was under the state, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, his father actually signed it over. to
Oh,
the
okay, I didn't realize that,
And,
okay.
Yeah, no. The
I didn't see the play.
The siblings don't realize that either.
Oh, okay.
And it's all these discoveries of, things that have happened that, that they just didn't take into account.
Okay, now, what is your part?
So I play Andy's staff member. So Andy is now in a residential home with other people with
Okay,
disabilities.
so
I'm in
you're a
this
caregiver.
yeah, and
Okay.
in this case, like legal guardian
Okay.
in this situation. So.
And how did you come about that part? In other words, what got you ready for a part like that? Because that seemed to be a pretty demanding part.
So it's kind of weird. I actually used to work with people with disabilities, so there's parts of it that do kind of hit home for me.
Okay.
But the character is nothing like me at all. So there's
Okay.
parts that I have to kind of dive into a little
Okay.
bit, putting on sort of this she describes herself as quiet, but she's exactly the opposite. So
Okay.
there's parts that I have to kind of put on. So that's kind of some pieces that I put together.
Well, you're acting, Megan.
Yeah.
That's what acting is all about.
Yeah.
So Andy, what about your part? Because you must be very demanding. Tell me about it.
Well, he does listen to music on headphones, watching movies, since when I have Burger King, he has make it warm. And I love to be in character, and it helps me to do. Remember, it learns how to speak louder.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the microphone's over your head, so we want everybody to hear what you say.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
So I always practice my lines when I saw my teacher.
Were they hard to learn? Was it hard to learn all those lines?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. And did Patrick help you?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he was my helping me for my lines and remember my lines in my heart. And
Do you like acting?
yes, I do. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. Was he in your class, Patrick?
No?
No, he just
No.
came out of the.
Yeah, well, no, I met Tom at Sand Lake Center for the Arts.
Okay.
His good friend.
With
Carmen.
Brian, is there? Yeah, yeah.
Brian Sheldon, part of our team. But yeah, I saw Tom in a couple of short plays that their matinee theater players group did. And this play came up, and when Harbinger was looking for Capital Region premieres that were inclusive, we saw.
I love what you do, Patrick.
Thank
I
you.
love what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, because you really are bringing a lot of topics,
Yeah.
and you always think outside the box. I love people that think outside the box.
Yeah, and we came across this play, and we loved it, and it was an opportunity to work with Tom, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So, Tom, we asked him, and we had.
And he agreed.
We precast him. Yeah, but that's why we're doing the play,
Yeah.
so that we can work with Tom, and Tom can work with us, and people can see what's possible.
Absolutely. So you found this play. Is that, I mean, did you just find it and then you just started thinking, or how did that work? Because
Well, I read a lot of plays.
I know you do.
And,
How many have you read this year?
I don't have a count, but I had read it, and I actually gave the monologue to Maghen. When Maghen was in my class, she was just doing the monologue. And then when we were getting together and we were looking at plays for the season, this play came up, and Maghen said, "Oh, Tom would do that." And I was like, ding, ding, ding. I was like, let's do it. So, yeah, and actually, dealing with the parent's death, as you know, my mom died.
I know. Carolyn, yeah.
And I had no idea, that.
The impact.
Yeah,
Because you lost your dad,
yeah.
and then your mom was here
Number
with
of
you a
years.
lot longer. Yeah,
Yeah, she was about to turn 91.
yeah.
But I had no idea, we scheduled this back in December. And, she was 90, so, but I had no idea I was going to be so lucky, to be able to work on something so impactful.
It had an impact, more of an impact than
Yeah.
it might have other times.
Yeah, and it's the only way to deal with grief is to take it, by the
Hit
scruff
it
of
head
its
on
neck,
almost and go with it.
and
Yeah.
dig in. And that's kind of what the play is about. It's like nothing you imagine. It's more ordinary and surprising, and you really can't know how you will eulogize a parent until you're doing it. You can watch movies, you can imagine it, but it's all fantasy until you have to recall, how did I love my mother?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what the play
That's what this play is about.
gets to. Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes away all of the nonsense of what you think your family is, and it puts you in contact with who they are.
Yeah. What do you think was the impetus for the author of the play?
She has an aunt with Down syndrome who
Okay.
was in a state institution most of her life.
And what did they say? Write about what you know.
She's very young. She just got out of drama school. I think when she was first produced, this is a few years old, 3 or 4 years old, but she's only, I think, just 30 now. So she was like in her mid-20s being produced in New York with 2 plays. This was done at Roundabout Theater Company, and she also had a play almost simultaneously being done at Playwrights Horizons. So 2 of the greatest off-Broadway companies. She was being.
So this has been performed off-Broadway?
Yes.
It has?
Yes.
Okay.
Her name, I'm going to screw it
Lindsay-
up. Jamie.
oh, Lindsay.
Lindsay Ferrantino.
Okay.
Is the playwright.
Yeah.
Jamie
Jamie Brewer.
Brewer is the actor who has Down syndrome, who appeared in the premiere
Okay.
of the play.
Okay.
and her aunt's name is Amy.
Right.
So she wrote the play called Amy and the Orphans. So there's one version for an actress who has Down syndrome,
Oh,
but then
okay.
they were looking for like an understudy, possibly for Jamie. the
And this was
actress.
Andy and,
And then they
That's
formed
right.
Annie and the Orphans. So
Her
we're doing
Okay,
yeah.
now I have to ask you, where did you get the name? Where did the name come from, the Orphans?
Oh, the orphans are,
Because that's what, I was trying to figure.
are the adult siblings.
Oh.
One of them's being overly self-dramatic, and now that she's lost her 85-year-old father, she's like, I'm an orphan.
Oh, okay, that's where it comes from.
Yes.
Because I was wondering, how did that, because we're talking family, I was like, where's the orphans coming in?
It's self-dramatizing.
Yeah.
Susan Katz
Yeah.
is playing it.
Oh, I like Susan,
Yeah.
yeah, she's really a good actress, yeah.
And Rob Weber is the other orphan.
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah. You got some good cast members. Now, where's it going to be performed?
Albany Barn.
Okay, good.
September 22nd through October 1st.
And how do people get tickets?
It's on Facebook, it's on Eventbrite, and my website,
And what is your website?
info@actingclasswithpatrickwhite.net.
Okay, good, so
Yeah,
they can
I
get
have
it.
flowers for you.
For our 24th?
Happy anniversary.
I know, it's our 24th.
It's 25th.
No, we're going to our 25th.
Oh, you can't have them then. Reserve for the silver.
We started in 1998, when you do the math. Thank you very much. And now for my next number. Thank you so much, Patrick. Yeah, 24th anniversary, we're in our 25th year.
Oh, no, my 25th appearance on the show.
You got the 25th appearance! Oh my gosh!
And here are more flowers. Yeah, no.
This is his 25th appearance on the
Yeah,
show.
last time I was here,
I sent you the number, I think. I said, oh,
you
look,
sent me all my appearances, and I was like, oh, I get on here too often. No, it's the only reason I do theater is to appear on the Ann Perillo show. Yeah, no, this is my 25th time here.
There we go. 25th for this.
Thank you, Ann.
And I'm hitting the 24th, so we got it all. We got it all covered. Thank you all for being here. Congratulations for this part. You're going to have a good time.
Yes, I will.
He's great, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Good. Good. Thank you. Good. Thanks for the flowers. Good. We're going to go over to the Civic Players, my other favorite organization.
How are you?
I'm doing good, but you're doing a murder mystery. You didn't do it last year. You're doing it now.
Yeah, we haven't done it in 2.5
I think
years.
I've been here over 25 times.
You want me to count?
Yes, I'd like to know.
I'm going to count.
Yeah,
I have a list,
I'd like to
and I'm
know.
checking it twice. I'm going to find out who's naughty and nice.
Naughty and nice, right.
Definitely on the naughty list.
We're
that
very excited about this.
Cristine Loffredo, she's in charge of fundraising, and Joe Fava is the director. And tell me about
Well, actually, Cristine is, she's one of the producers.
You're
of
a
the
producer,
show,
too.
And she
does it all.
She found the play. I'll let her talk in a second.
Okay.
But I'm very excited because we had to not do them because of the COVID.
I know, I remember.
So we missed, all time perspective is lost. So I'm not sure when we did the last one, but it was a while ago.
Yeah, I went to that one, and I was in the one
You were the
before
one
that,
before
which was
that,
so
right.
much fun. Oh, I love
But the
that.
nice thing, we're doing it 2 nights.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
the tables are going to be like more separated than normal because people, I think, like to be more separated. So that's one of the nice things about. And of course, we're at the Lighthouse, and it is, I always forget the dates, September 29th and 30th.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Go
Talk about the
ahead.
cast. We've got
Are
a
you
great-
sure?
We've got a great cast.
We do. We have a terrific cast. Oh, look,
Okay.
you've got our season brochure.
I got your season brochure because
Terrific.
yes, and let's see, I have the dates right here. Yes,
Yep, Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday.
Cafe Murder.
Yes. And why is this a murder? I mean, because we got to have a murder mystery.
Well, we have a lady that is, she's allergic to water. So she can't drink
Okay,
water.
she can only drink gin.
Right. Oh, that's a good point. I could do that in the cat. I didn't. It's kind of an outlandish. It's a very kind of written a certain way, but I'm making it.
Yeah,
kind of-
yeah. You make it your own, right,
Making
Joe?
it kind of crazy. Yes. Yes. We're very lucky about the people who
Who's
are
the
in it.
cast? Who's in the cast?
Okay, so who's in the cast? Let's
Who's
see.
in
We
the cast?
have star-studded cast. We have Joanne Westervelt.
Oh, she's good.
I
yeah.
know. Can
She's
you
the one
believe
who's
it?
allergic to water.
That's right. She's allergic to water. She's the nasty one. Let's see. So we have Joanne Westervelt. We have Bob Hageman. We have Heidi Bromley. We have Melissa Putterman Hoffman.
Oh, she's great.
We have Melissa Brown. We have Jean Carney.
It's a good cast.
We have Ryan Palmer. We have Meg Jupin. We have Steve King. And I think I mentioned
How do you
them all,
remember
didn't I?
all these? Oh my
I
God.
think you got
I
them
know.
all.
I know.
I-
I pulled everybody. I pulled all my. What do you call those things? My chips, where you got to call somebody and say you owe me one.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Because
so
they have to perform 2 nights.
they have to perform 2 nights. As Joe said, COVID-wise, we're just really trying to keep everybody safe and make it accessible for everyone. We haven't done it in 2.5 years, and it's our biggest fundraiser. I mean, we usually make over $5,000 on these, and so now we're going to split it up into 2 nights, and fingers crossed, we
You might make a little bit more.
maybe. I hope so.
Yeah, well,
I get to do 50-50 2 nights in a row, so that's a big thing for me.
Oh, that's right. I love her. She gets out there. Come on, 50-50. Come on.
Arms
sell those
length, and it's
tickets.
Yes,
like,
you're
hold
doing
on.
it like that. I saw you doing that.
You can only pull 1 ticket, so
We have a lot of fun.
we do.
I
We have
know.
a
I
blast.
think the nice thing is the audience really enjoys themselves because this has a lot of audience participation.
Well, and what people don't, and this is funny because I was involved with it, but what's funny is when you stay in character and go to a table, people don't know how to react to you.
I know.
And it's like, I'm trying to say, oh, so you're coming to the wedding? Are you coming to the wedding? And they're looking
Be
at
like,
you.
hi,
"Well,
Ann.
yeah, and I
you're
go,
not Ann.
I'm not Ann. I'm not Ann anymore. You're coming to the wedding. Did you bring a gift? And then they look at you. Why was I supposed to bring a gift?
I know, they do.
But the audience really enjoys themselves.
They do, but
'Cause it's a lot of
once
fun.
they get in the spirit,
Yeah.
And the food is terrific.
they always
is
have good
good.
food there.
Great food. It's
a
like
nice
a 3-course meal and a show for $70. We give
And
them
they get a choice
presents
of
and
dinner, so,
prizes,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Prizes.
we have prizes.
You're going to have prizes,
Yeah,
or
well, the
you're going to have a
person
silent
who-
auction?
The person
No
who-
prizes.
person who picks the murderer on the table
Oh, yeah, I know that.
gets first prize and there's second prize. And then we look for somebody who has a birthday. If there's somebody in the audience, we sneak around.
Okay.
And we sing happy birthday.
Oh, that's
We
nice.
get to embarrass people. It's
We
terrific.
like-
So where does this play take place? I mean, I know it's at the
in a restaurant, literally.
Oh, in a
It's
restaurant.
birthday
Okay.
for.
Oh, it's a birthday for someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a birthday for
Okay.
someone who is allergic to water, and she's really nasty. And her sisters take her out to dinner, and it's
And they
fun.
put water in her food.
Well, the waiter comes and gives her a little water, and she gets all.
And every
huffy
character's a
and-
little different. We have like a hippie who drinks, and we have somebody who smokes.
Oh, you got to have those.
Yeah. And
Yeah, we have a
got
valley girl. We have a
the Valley
trucker.
girl, trucker.
Yep, those are all her sisters, and a banker.
And they're going to sing. It's not in the show, but I'm adding it.
Really?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Joe and Joe is so creative. I love Joe Fava. He's so creative when he comes to directing. He does some really strange things sometimes.
Yeah.
I've had a good run.
Yes, he's had a good run.
I've done over 330 shows.
Get out.
Well, I'm 82 years old, so I've been doing it forever.
You're a baby.
320 shows. Some shows, like Music Man, I've done 5 times. Because
Did you get it right at the end?
I used to be in this, because I did, Niskuna High School,
Perfect.
all the different schools.
You finally
I
got it
direct-
right at the
I
fifth time.
directed a lot, right.
He's still working on it.
I directed some of them 3 times in the schools, because I
Yeah.
did
Oh,
a
I
lot.
know when you did a school production here,
Siena,
right here
I
in the
used to
GE
work at
Theater.
Siena and Union College
Yeah.
and all over. It's been fun.
Yeah.
The nice thing about theater is, it's not like a lot of organizations. We bring in people of all different
Backgrounds.
occupations and backgrounds. I did a show once where I had the bartender was head of pediatrics at Ellis Hospital. So we bring, you've got people who are doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs. I mean, it's silly to say that, but
Never know, right?
but everybody, like this lady comes from a dental background, right?
I do.
even
Dr.
before that.
Loffredo, I know.
That's
I know
right,
the
Dr.
family.
Loffredo. So we have all types of interesting
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah.
We're like an engineer, a group would be all engineers, but we have all different,
We
and
really
all
want to
different
encourage
ages.
people, though, to come
Right.
and support community theater. This is a fundraiser because, they have a beautiful building, and once in a while, maybe you need a roof or you need a
Right.
repair here, and you need that. You've got to be, and you were president, and you
I
were
was
on the
president,
board, so
yeah.
you know what it's like to to run into things that need to be taken care of, and some of them are unexpected.
Right.
The one thing that I think you were, maybe you weren't only responsible for, that elevator.
I was responsible for that.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't going to be able to make the stairs. So
He
I
was
bought
planning ahead.
So I bought an $80,000 elevator.
Yeah, it's true. We lost several patrons because they couldn't get up the stairs.
couldn't
We had
get up
two
the stairs.
beautiful staircases, lovely theater, but, you know, patrons have trouble, so we
That'll-
gotta do what we gotta do, and we had a new roof problem.
Well, not
last
only
year,
that, but it
so-
opens it up to anyone with a not
Absolutely.
aging or anything, but
No,
a
you're absolutely
disability.
right.
That
Yeah.
whole project was almost $1 million.
I know it was,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Right, which we
So-
put up, and I.
But you
just-
put an addition, sort of, so
Right.
there was a
Full
lot with
addition
it.
and
And
everything.
it's beautiful.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah, what you've done is
We bought
amazing.
the building about 20 years ago next door with the idea of someday doing that. And it was my dream to do that. It finally came true. But it really, we are one of the 5 oldest community theaters in the United States.
In the United
of
States.
America.
I think the
In the s-
Philadelphia is the oldest
In
or
the
something.
same location.
Yeah,
And radio started there.
yeah.
I mean, all kinds of things, people came out of that theater. It's really, it's probably the best theater plant in the Tri-Cities because we have everything. We own everything.
What about your costume collection?
What
Right?
about our costume
Put that
collection?
together.
People come to us to borrow costumes.
We have
a
over
whole building.
25,000 costumes. I put that costume collection together,
Upstairs, downstairs,
everything.
you know, middle of the way, we've got costumes.
You've seen
And
it.
shoes over
And it's
here and there.
beautiful. It's
Hats are
all
over there and
And
there.
you've seen it. You see
completely
what it's like.
organized. And
Yeah, I've
people
been in.
still continue to
Yeah.
donate to us, and we still take it
And we
in.
have 2
so-
lovely late, Marcia Thomas and Beth Roman, who take care of all this stuff.
I know.
Now myself too included, but I mean
It's
the ladies.
dated.
But your
dates
costume
and,
is always,
you know,
your
it's
costumes are
gorgeous.
always spot on.
We
Yep.
have wonderful
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
And all of it has been donated. Practically
Yes,
every
everything.
single item in that costume closet has been donated.
Okay.
There's over 25,000.
How do you keep track of it?
When I got the collection, it was all in bags. It was all in, it came
So
from.
you're really a bag man.
It came from St. Mary's School in storage. And Marty Moore had it
I
all
remember- yeah,
in
Marty.
bags. It came to the Playhouse, and I worked for 2 years taking it
Just
out.
trying to find hangers.
And then, right. That was, you'd think that's funny. That's
No, I didn't think it was funny.
And then I had this lady, Marcia Thomas, thank God for her. She came down and started working. And it took us 5 years.
She's still there, yeah.
5 years to put that together.
Super organized.
But
I
we
mean,
have
that's what
a
it
wonderful
takes.
plant. And we encourage people to come in and do something. They could be an usher.
Yeah.
They could, they could do any kind of
Be
job.
part of the Schenectady Civic Players,
We're
please
lucky.
do, and I want you all to think quite seriously about getting a ticket because you will not be disappointed.
No.
This is not just sit back and watch. This is an event where you are going to get involved, called Café Murder. It's right up there on the screen. You see the 2 dates, so you don't have any excuses. You got 2 days to choose from.
That's right.
And I want you to get a ticket and
fun.
enjoy a great meal
Yeah.
and support
food.
Schenectady Civic Players.
Yes,
good.
you'll have a blast. Thank
You'll
you
have
so
a blast.
much.
Thank you
Ann.
so much. Yeah,
Really
love you guys.
appreciate
it. Love
Yeah,
you too.
good.
Thank you.
We're going to now talk about Q.U.I.L.T.S, and you have one right behind you.
We do.
Yes, and what is that? That's a beautiful quilt.
One of our members made that as our raffle quilt. for
No,
this year.
you're raffling that off?
Yes. $1 ticket.
That would look really nice on my bed.
Well, and the reason we're here, and we want to thank you for inviting us back.
Well, thank you for coming.
You know, every time we have a show, this will be our 17th biennial quilt show.
Okay.
Quilters United.
You may have been on every year for all I know.
Yes, we
I'll have to
have.
check that too.
Yes, you'll have to check, because I know we've been on several times. So this is about the 10th show that will be here in Proctor's at the GE Theater.
Right where we are right now.
Right where we are. And it's October 8th and 9th. It's a Saturday and Sunday of Columbus Day. Doors open at 10 in the morning each day. We go to 5 on Saturday, 4 on Sunday. And the admission is $8 a
Okay.
person.
And what will they expect? They'll see some quilts, but also I think you also have vendors that sell or that have an opportunity to get special items.
Right. Well, this is our first show in 4 years because of COVID.
I know, well.
And so
What a
slowly
pain.
but surely, we've had really the biggest quilt show in the area. And so we've talked to some of the vendors we've had in the past, and 8 vendors will be here in Proctor's at Key Hall. And the vendors come from fairly far away. We have one quilt vendor, the Tiger Lily from Utica, Adirondack Quilts from Glens Falls, Log Cabin Quilts from Selkirk.
Oh, so what would you, do they sell fabric? Do they sell yarn? I mean, what do they sell? I'm not a quilter, so you're talking to a novice here.
Well, they will sell fabric by the yard, and they'll have scads of beautiful fabrics.
Just the right color you want for that centerpiece, right?
Yes, and you
That one
your
little thing, yeah. For your star or whatever you're making.
And that's one of the gifts of them being from away, because they will bring fabrics here.
Yeah, you're not,
You're
they're not locally.
Right. And they'll have patterns, and they'll have rulers, and all of those kind of things to make quilts.
Do you use special thread or anything, or no? I don't know anything about,
Right. Well,
because you want it to hold up, you don't want it
Right.
to break.
And that's the thing, the vendors will be selling their threads, they'll have rulers, so whatever you think you might want to start, and Anita's going to talk about the guild itself, because Quilters United in Learning
I love
Together.
your name. I love your name. You must have been sitting around thinking about that
Well,
one.
you had to find just the right.
Yeah, the right words that go together.
combination.
Yeah.
So
I've done
Anita-
that for other organizations.
Yes, yes. So Anita's going to give you a little background.
Okay,
on the
tell us
guild.
about the Quilters United in Learning Together.
Yes.
in Schenectady.
Very good, right. Well, we've started in 1980. After the bicentennial in 19...
Everybody was making stuff in the 76, right?
Absolutely. And people wanted to get together and show their quilts and learn more about quilting. And so we started in 1980. And one of the things that we do is give away quilts to kids in foster care.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah. So very often they end up in foster care and they have nothing that they're bringing from
Something that
wherever.
is their own.
And they get to take it with them. And most of those kids, of course, are teenagers. So we're looking for sports fabrics and those kind of things.
Oh, yeah, to make it relevant to them.
Absolutely. We also make quilts for the folks over at the VA hospital in Albany. We've given away 73 of those this year already. We've been doing this for several years. And we get thanks back from them or their family. It's a comfort to have something that's your own in the very sterile environment.
Yeah,
of a
because, I mean, you have
hospital.
nothing maybe, and it's, not only that, but it's something they're going to keep forever, because nobody gets rid of a quilt. Do you have quilting bees? Oh, come on, tell me. I will need to know. Is there really such a thing as a quilting bee?
Yes.
Okay, well,
We do that. In November, we all get together around tables and we cut out fabrics to make quilts for the kids in foster care.
Oh, okay.
And then we get together, is it February? February.
And with our sewing machines, then we start sewing those quilts together.
And then you have to put them together.
Yes, and that will take tying. And at the quilt show here, I'm going to demonstrate tying to anybody 4 years old and up can learn how to tie a quilt, and they'll enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
Our tying demonstrations will be right outside here in Proctor's in the Robb Alley. And we'll have a setup to show some of the quilts that we've made for our charitable groups. And we'll have the demonstrations, we'll have the raffle quilt that you see behind us. We'll also have the various door prizes that people would put forward. A lot of the businesses have given us door prizes. So we've got a lot going on that day. We do want
It's open to everybody, whether you're a
It's
quilter or
open
not,
to
because I went to a quilt museum, I believe there in New York City. Was there a quilt museum? Yeah, I think it was New York City.
There's-
And I was amazed because they had some like from the 1700s,
Right. Well,
and
even
the
if you-
patterns and stuff are amazing.
Right, if you get a chance to check, right in the arcade here at Proctor's, we have a window set up to really publicize our show, but that has some of the antique quilts in the window.
Yeah.
So it's an opportunity for people to see quilts. We also will be having our large boutique upstairs on the second floor here at Proctor's. And that really gives you the opportunity. Our show is really an exhibit of our work. Upstairs, there's going to be fabric. There may be items for sale. People can get started on their Christmas shopping if they want.
Absolutely.
And so, again, that's going to be open both days, October 8th and 9th. And again, Proctor's is wheelchair accessible.
Yeah, everything's accessible. There's an elevator and everything.
That should be a question.
You're just going to be in the G Theater, or you're going to be in the arcade and the Key Hall, right?
Yes, we're going to be all over here practicing.
Are you going to be using the downstairs as well?
This year, we're not going to be
Okay,
downstairs.
okay.
But I wanted to have people know that their admission, the $8 admission, if they're here for the weekend, they can come both days.
Okay.
And, hey, plan a
It
nice
supports
weekend.
your organization as well.
Right. It
I mean, we just
supports-
talked about a fundraiser over here, so you have a
Yes,
fundraiser,
yes.
yeah.
We do have, as part of a membership, each month we meet.
It's only a $30 membership. I think I saw that on your website.
For the year, and our website is quiltschenectady.org.
And we put that up on, well, maybe we don't have it up on the screen. I lost my PowerPoint, guys, so that was a mess.
Yes. So it's quiltschenectady.org, and so we meet once a month. We often have speakers, teachers from national, and with Zoom, with COVID,
Yeah,
we
you
had
can do
to
it.
go to Zoom.
Well, that's
So-
okay. You learn a lot with Zoom.
Well, we've gotten teachers from all over.
Exactly. It
So-
gave you a lot more opportunity with
Well,
that.
we had teachers from London, which was a big surprise, and like I said, with Zoom, it gave us different opportunities.
Right, right.
So, so if anyone's interested in quilting, please come to our show.
I want to mention that when I retired from my position in the pharmacy board, I was given a quilt that one of my staff members gave me, and it was all pharmacy related.
Oh, nice.
Which is that cool? And I have it, and it's in my home now, and every time I look at it, it's a memory.
Well,
But it also was a lovely gift. I want to tell you this because it was a lovely gift and one that I cherish. So quilts do mean something.
they mean something. Every quilt is made special for the person that receives it.
Well, apparently, because it was all pharmacy related, and of course I'm a pharmacist, so that kind of, does that to you. Yeah.
But if anyone has any questions, again, they can go to our website, quiltschenectady.org.
And I'll publicize that. I'm sorry
And,
about my PowerPoint, but anyway.
No,
unless
don't
you,
worry,
yeah.
don't worry. And then come to the show.
Good.
Again, it's October 8th and 9th. It's the
Here-
weekend
right
of
here in
Columbus
Schenectady,
Day,
yeah.
Right here at Proctor's.
Good.
And they can join the guild while they're here at the show. And we're very friendly. They won't feel that, I don't quilt well enough to join.
Everyone
It's a
starts
support group too,
someplace.
right? It's a support group.
And we've needed it during the last few
Exactly. It
years.
was a great
Thank
way
you.
to do it. I need to tell you what's going on, what's coming up next time. We're coming up, do I have it? Yeah. No, I don't have it, yeah. Oh, the Josh Romeo show, he's going to be on. It's improv. It's a new group. The ARC food truck event is coming on, and Susan Bartek will be there. Cap Rep will be here. They're going to be talking about Dracula, oh my gosh, and the Wizard of Oz. The BPW will be here talking about the fashion show. Cindy Powell will be here, and community conversation with Denise Murphy-McGraw. And I want to give a big, shout out to myself and the team that's together, because we have our 24th anniversary, and we're now going into our 25th year. And it's been a labor of love. Nobody gets paid. Those are some of the people that you see on the screen right there that have been helping over the years, and perhaps, come up when they don't feel the greatest, but they come in every time and get behind the camera. They do the switcher. They do whatever needs to be done. And from my heart to them, I love you all. And I do want to give another little shout out to 3 members of our team that have left us. One is Jay Perner. He left us unexpectedly. He passed away. And then Nina Rindinello, who was with us until her 90s. She was in the 90s when she was doing that. And then Greg Millette, who was with me from the very beginning. And here we are in the 24th year, and he passed away in 2016. From my heart to all of them, I do love you all, and I couldn't have done this show without you. So here we are in our going into our 25th year. Thank you for watching Capital Region Today. I'm Ann Pearl, your host, and a big shout out to my entire team and to Open Stage Media, who is here every week helping us, and we love you all. Thank you.